Get me that 6. We need more power.
Oh, come on in quick, before they follow you. Oh, I'm glad to see another survivor. My name's Al. I'm a construction worker. I don't know if you can tell. Wait, you say you've got a piece of a radio? It just so happens I've got these other parts that some survivors dropped. Yeah, well, they're zombies now. That's one of them pounding on the window there. I'm sure that won't happen to you, but maybe you better let me hold on to that radio part just in case. Hang on. I can get this wall back up in a jiff with my hammer and nails here. Now, here's a report that I got off of the news, in case you aren't fully aware of our situation. The unbelievable is happening. The dead are returning to life and attacking the living. Me and my teammates have fought our way to the woods and found shelter in an abandoned hunting cabin. While the dead claw hungrily at the walls, we search the cabin for useful items and weapons to defend ourselves. Can we work together to fight the zombies while collecting radio pieces to call for rescue? What do they think we've been doing? Huh? Fail to protect the teammate, and that teammate may become a zombie and turn on you next. Alright, buddy. Now, just hold on there. Just take a step back. What we need to do is plan a route out of here. I've set up this board here so that we can figure out what to do. Here, let me show you what I've learned so far. Dead Panic has a look and some mechanics in common with Fireside's very popular Castle Panic game. However, it's not the zombie version of Castle Panic. One of the main differences is that in Dead Panic, you're playing an actual character that is represented on the game board. Look, it's Al, the construction worker. He's got a little stand-up. The board is very similar to Castle Panic, with 3 circles surrounding the 6-sided cabin, forming 6 different arcs that the zombie can assault you from. Along these 6 sides, you place the 6 cabin walls. These are your only protection to keep the zombies out. There are 8 different characters to choose from, and each character has their own board and standee. The characters all have their own special ability that will come in handy during the game. For example, Sandra, the police officer. Once per turn, you may spend 2 bullets with 1 action. That would come in pretty handy, and each one of them lists all the possible actions and the order of play, which comes in very handy. Now, you also keep track of your injuries on the board, which are very similar to the ones included with Flying Frog's Last Night on Earth. My only complaint about the components of this game is the cardboard pieces that help them stand up actually fall out fairly easily when you pick them up. Just like that. And it can get really annoying. I'd suggest taking a page from Fantasy Flight Games' book and getting those little plastic bases that they used to stand up all their Arkham Horror characters. The zombie tokens operate the same way as the monster tokens do in Castle Panic. Here's a brawler. He's got 2 points. When he takes a point of damage, you rotate him down to 1, and then he's dead. To start the game, you'll draw 1 zombie token to place in each of the arcs in the furthest space, the woods. So you've got 1 all the way around. The 3 survivor tokens are placed into the bag along with the remaining zombie tokens. Look at this bag. Pretty cool bag. I like it a lot. And now these survivor tokens are essential to winning the game, as each survivor carries one of the 3 radio pieces, that's the zombie side, you don't want that side yet, that you'll need to summon help. Here's the radio pieces. There's 3 of them. There's 3 survivors. Each survivor carries 1 piece with them. See, they go together like a puzzle. The survivors will also appear in the woods and will attempt to get to the cabin. If they can make it, you can take the radio piece from them. If they don't, because once they appear, the zombies will start going after them, you will have to come out of the cabin and go to get the piece from the outside, because once they turn into a zombie, they drop their piece of the radio and decide to start eating people instead. This marks the other major change from Castle Panic. You can leave the confines of the cabin. In fact, you have to leave the cabin in order to win. Once you gather and assemble all of the radio pieces, you can signal for rescue. A rescue van will arrive. "Ah, rescue van! Going to the rescue!" will arrive on the edge of the board. But you have to get to it to survive. Once the remaining players are in the van, the game ends and the players win. If every player becomes a zombie, then the players lose and the game ends. And let me tell you, this is not an easy game to win. You will need a combination of luck and good planning in order for anyone to get out alive. Once the zombies are in position and the decks are shuffled, then the players begin taking their turns. On your turn, you can perform 2 actions, which include drawing a card, using a card, which includes using a weapon, move 1 space, trade a card, repair a crack in a wall. I didn't show you those. These are the little cracks that go on the wall. Bloop. See? Use the radio or summon the rescue van. You can perform the same action twice if you wish. And then once all of the players perform their actions, an event card is drawn. These are almost universally bad. And here is where the scaling for the number of players takes place. As many of these cards, except that one and that one, will have you place zombies on the board based on the number of players. So right here, that number symbol, that means 1 zombie for every player appears on the board. And then you also do what's on here. After you place this fresh horde of zombies and perform what other horrifying action the event card calls for, then the zombies get to move. There are different types of zombies, and they do move differently. Each type has different health points and special abilities as well. The brutes are the worst. I hate these guys. 3 hit points, they destroy a wall on 1 hit. After moving, you'll have to fight any zombies in your space. If you have a gun, then you automatically hit, but your ammo is limited, and you'll be using that gun as a club after a few shots. This is a nice thing to have, this crossbow, because you use it once per turn, and then the next turn you get to reload it. Oh, it's sweet. Helmet. I'm just looking for a gun. Here we go. Here's a shotgun. So it's got 2 shots initially. You shoot it once. You turn it that way. It's got 1 left. You shoot it again. And it's out of bullets, and you can use it as a club. And that's its last use. If you're out of guns, then you have to use melee weapons. When you use a melee weapon, oh look, hammer and nails. See? You have to roll higher than the zombie's fight number listed on its token in order to do some damage. So, alright, now we have no melee weapons. It's a complete deck of non-melee weapons. A pipe wrench. Okay. Humans win the ties. That's a nice thing about the pipe wrench. So, for example, this zombie, the Shambler, has a fight number of 7. So I'm going to take my 2 dice and my handy pipe wrench, and I'm going to go against this zombie, and I roll a 3. Well, I lost, unfortunately. So the zombie gets me. You can avoid taking an injury by discarding the weapon that you use. But these are limited resources. Once you go through the whole deck, you are out of weapons. They are gone. So you really have to think before discarding a valuable weapon. But you can only take 3 wounds before you're killed. 1, 2, 3. You have these nice little wound tokens. So really, it may not be too tough of a decision after all. After this, the bait token is passed to the next player, and the next round begins. Initially, your goal is to stay alive until the survivors start to appear. And then your goal is to get the radio parts and get out of there. Now that bait token that I mentioned is this token that acts as a first player token. Additionally, the player who has the bait token will be chosen by the zombies before any other player when they're presented with a choice. So if you've got the bait token, try to keep in mind that the zombies will eat you first. If you do get killed, you become a zombie. You just flip your character sheet over to the zombie side and pick 2 special abilities. Dead characters become fairly tough zombies, and their abilities include things like adding +1 to their fight rolls, re-rolling dice once per turn, moving an extra space, and so on. If you get killed as a zombie, well, then you're out of the game. The game is quick enough that I haven't had this happen yet. You also get a little zombie U token, and as you can see, you have 3 health points. And that's it. Really, that's how you play Dead Panic. Dead Panic is a tough game to beat, but it's exciting and fun too. You do need to cooperate and plan ahead, because by the second turn you could be facing a dozen zombies. I've had games where every zombie in the game is on the board and advancing on us. You'll learn to stack types of zombies together to keep the board easier to manage. I mean, if you're looking to recreate Night of the Living Dead, then this is the game to do it with. Walls will be bashed in and the zombies will come after you. So be ready to run. I did find the rules a bit confusing at first. Situations will occur that are not spelled out, and you end up making a judgment call. For example, survivors just stay in one spot once they reach the cabin. Even if the zombies are coming for them, they just stay there. They don't move. They made it to safety. They don't have to be safe ever again. That isn't spelled out specifically, but you can infer it from the lack of mention in the rules. I did get that confirmed, by the way. The zombie movement can cause you some angst as well, as every situation can't be explained, although they do make a decent attempt to do so. The only problems I found with Dead Panic was the stand-ups not standing up, and some problems with the rules. Other than that, Dead Panic is fun and exciting. It's a great cooperative game. In fact, here's a couple of tips from me to you. Gather a few weapons as fast as you can. If this means you spend the first 2 turns drawing cards, then so be it. You need weapons. Use the buddy system. Don't think you're strong enough to survive on your own. Keep together with another person, especially if you have to run outside to pick up that radio piece that the guy who's now a zombie dropped. That one action spelled doom for many a character in the games we played. Don't use a radio as a club. You might need it to move the van around later. And of course, make sure you've got a good melee weapon, because the ammo in these guns always runs out. Overall, I enjoyed Dead Panic even more than Castle Panic. It's very thematic and fun, even if you all get killed, which does happen a lot. You can adjust the difficulty level by following the guidelines in the rulebook though, so you don't have to lose every game. Once you become an expert, you can bump up the danger level to keep your juices flowing. Thanks for joining me in this review of Dead Panic from Fireside Games. Let me know if you found this review helpful by leaving a comment or sending me an email at elliott_miller@voiceofe.com. Make sure you subscribe to the Voice of E channel on YouTube, like the Voice of E on Facebook, And visit our website at voiceofe.com, as I'll have plenty of gaming, entertainment, and comic book coverage this year. And it should be a lot of fun. Thanks again. And until next time, keep your mind free.
Get me that 6. We need more pounds.